Listen to me real close, because this one ain't for the people who want it easy. This ain't for the folks waiting for a handout or some magical moment to change their lives. This is for the ones who are ready to rise, ready to grind, ready to take control of their own story. This is for the ones who are tired of waiting for someone to save them. Be your own hero. Stop looking around. Stop searching for the cavalry. Ain't nobody coming to rescue you. Nobody's flying in with a cape to pull you out of the struggle. The world doesn't owe you understanding. Life doesn't owe you comfort, and that pain you're feeling, that pressure, that's the birthplace of your power. Stop waiting. That's the first truth most people can't handle. We're conditioned to believe that someone somewhere is going to show up with the answers, with the opportunities, with the roadmap. That maybe if we pray hard enough, wish long enough, or keep suffering quietly, someone will knock on the door and say, "Here, I'll come to fix it for you." But that's a fantasy. The brutal, honest, unfiltered truth is that no one is coming. No one's coming to pull you out of the mud. No one's coming to push you when you're down, and no one is going to fight your battles for you. The world isn't going to pause and say, "Oh, let's wait for them to catch up." Well, yeah, put your mind. Life keeps moving, whether you're ready or not. And if you don't start taking ownership, you will get left behind. The moment you accept that it's all on you is the moment everything changes. It's not about being bitter. It's not about blaming the world for being cold. It's about waking up to the reality that your life is your responsibility. Your success, your happiness, your future, it's all in your hand. And when you keep waiting for a savior, you delay your own growth. You hand over your power. You give away control to forces that don't care about your dreams, to people who have their own struggles, their own fights, and who, truth be told, aren't thinking about your next move. It's tempting to wait. Waiting feels safe. Waiting feels passive. Waiting gives us the illusion that something outside of us will change, and that change will lift us. But how long have you been waiting already? A year, 5, a decade? Then how long are you going to sit on the sidelines of your own life, hoping someone shows up to take the weight off your shoulder? The reality is, if you don't move, nothing moves. If you don't act, nothing happens. If you don't rise, you stay on the ground. Every second spent waiting is a second wasted. And time doesn't care. It moves with or without you. People will say, "Oh, but I'm tired," or "I didn't get the support others had," or "My circumstances are different." And maybe all of that is true. Maybe life hit you harder than most. Maybe you started lower on the ladder, but that still doesn't change the fact that it's your ladder. Whether it's cracked or broken, whether it's tall or short, it's yours to climb. And no one else is going to climb it for you. People can cheer from the sidelines. They can give advice. They can hand you tools, but you still have to do the work. You still have to show up. You still have to bleed for it. And the truth is, no one can want it more than you. No one can grind for your dream the way you can. No one can carry the weight of your purpose but you. We grow up watching movies, reading books, hearing stories of heroes who are saved at the last second. But real life doesn't work like that. Real life is messy. Real life requires you to be the one who runs into the fire instead of waiting for the rescue team. And when you finally get that, when you finally stop hoping someone else is going to make it easier, that's when you truly begin to take control. That's when you stop pointing finger and start building. That's when you trade in excuses for execution. That's when you go from victim to victim to victim. Because at the end of the day, it's not about who hurt you, who left you, who didn't support you. It's about what you're going to do about it. The people who win in this life aren't the ones with the smoothest path. They're the ones who stopped waiting and started walking. Even if they were limping, even if they were crawling, even if no one believed in them, they kept going. They understood that the hero wasn't coming from the outside. The hero was already inside, waiting to be unleashed. And you can keep hoping someone shows up, or you can make the decision right now to become the one you've been waiting for all along. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is the alarm clock that wakes up your potential. It's the thing that forces you to move, to grow, to confront who you really are and who you want to be. Too many people try to avoid pain. They dodge it, numb it, hide from it. But the truth is, the very thing you're running from is the thing that's trying to teach you. Every champion, every leader, every warrior that's ever walked this earth has had one thing in common. They embraced the pain. They used it. They let it shape them. Not because they liked it, but because they understood it was necessary. You can't become stronger without resistance. You can't grow muscles without breaking fibers. You can't build mental toughness without walking through storms. And you can't lead without having first survived. Pain is not a curse. It's a test. It's a tool. It's your preparation. Some of the most powerful people you've ever seen weren't born strong. They were broken first. They were betrayed. They were doubted. They were knocked down so many times. The world expected them to stay down, but they did. They stood back up, bruised, bleeding, and more determined than ever. Because pain did something for them that comfort never could. It awakened their inner fire. You don't really know who you are until you've been hurt, until you failed, until you've lost something or someone that meant everything to you. It's in that silence when the world stops clapping, when nobody checks in, when the lights are off and you're left alone with your thoughts. That's when you meet your real self. And most people never get there because they tap out too early. They numb the pain with distractions, with excuses, with lies. But those who are willing to feel it, those who are willing to sit in it, they come out on the other side unshakable. Pain teaches you what comfort never will. It teaches you to be resourceful, to think creatively, to hustle differently, When everything's good, you get lazy. You start thinking you've arrived. But pain reminds you that growth is an everyday grind. It sharpens you. It humbles you. It reminds you that life doesn't owe you anything. You've got to earn every inch. You've got to earn every inch. And there's something sacred about that. There's something real about earning your way through struggle instead of being handed everything. If you look at anyone who's made it in life, you'll find pain in their past. A heartbreak, a loss, a failure so deep it almost broke them. But that pain gave them a reason to fight. A reason to show up even when it hurt. A reason to push beyond the limits everyone else accepted. Pain became their passport, their training ground, their evidence. It became their story, the chapter that shifted everything. And the truth is, pain makes you grateful. When you've been through hell and come out stronger, you stop taking small things for granted. You start cherishing your progress. Even if it's slow, you learn to appreciate resilience, persistence, the fight in you that never died. Because when you've been broken and refuse to stay broken, there's a pride that comes with that. Not arrogance, ownership. Ownership of your scars, ownership of your story, ownership of your process. What most people don't realize is that pain can be your greatest asset. Not because it feels good, but because it forces transformation. You can't stay the same after walking through the fire. It burns away the fake, the weak, the excuses. What's left is the real you, the stronger you, the wiser you, the more focused and dangerous version of you. And while others complain, you rise. While others fold, you build. While others retreat, you advance. Because you've learned how to suffer and still show up. How to bleed and still believe. How to fall and still get up. Pain has a way of showing you what matters. It exposes what's real and what's fake. It strips you of your mask. It humbles your ego. It makes you respect the grind. And when you realize that pain wasn't there to destroy you, but to develop you, everything changes. You stop fearing it. You stop resenting it. You start resenting its fuel, as fire, as focus. You understand that pain didn't happen to you. It happened for you. And from that moment on, you walk differently. You speak differently. You show up in the world with a sense of purpose that only those who have suffered understand. Respect is not something you're born with. It's something you earn every single day through your actions, your attitude and your discipline. Too many people walk around demanding respect without putting in the work. They want to be acknowledged without the effort. They want recognition without the grind. But life doesn't hand out respect for free. It watches what you do when no one else is watching. It pays attention to how you show up when there's no audience, no applause, no one to impress. That's when your character is revealed, and that's when real respect is built. If you want respect, stop talking about what you're going to do and start doing. Stop posting about the grind and actually grind. Stop announcing your next move and just move. The loudest person in the room is usually the one doing the least. The real ones are too busy putting in work to broadcast every step. They understand that respect is a byproduct of consistency, not noise. Turn in the dark and reveal the light. It's not about flashy moments. It's about who you are when things get quiet, when things get hard, when the pressure is on and quitting is easy. You don't earn respect by being the most talented. Talent is cheap. You earn it by being dependable, by showing up when it's inconvenient, by delivering when others fold. You earn it when people know that if they hand you something, you'll handle it. Not with excuses, not with drama, but with excellence. You become the kind of person others count on, not because you say you're reliable, but because you prove it over and over again. Your word becomes gold. Your presence becomes trusted. That's how respect is built, through reliability, through follow through, through being a person of substance. And make no mistake, respect doesn't come from doing what's easy. It comes from doing what's necessary. It comes from doing the hard things, the thankless things, the things nobody wants to do. It comes from staying up late to finish the job, from sacrificing comfort to chase discipline, from showing restraint when others will lash out. That's where the foundation of respect is laid, in the decisions that don't feel glamorous, but build your reputation brick by brick. You want to be respected? Then do the hard things without complaining. Show humility when you win and accountability when you lose. Take ownership of your life and your results. The world respects those who take responsibility, who don't run from problems but face them, who don't blame others but fix themselves first. Respect doesn't come to the loudest. It comes to the most disciplined, the most focused, the ones who don't let emotion dictate their execution. And here's what most people forget. Respect is internal before it's external, You want others to respect you, you gotta start respecting yourself. Stop tolerating laziness in your own life. Stop allowing yourself to half step. Stop giving yourself permission to quit every time it gets hard. The moment you hold yourself to a higher standard, others will too. Because people don't follow what you say, they follow what you do. They follow your habits, your consistency, your commitment. They follow the way you carry yourself when things aren't going your way. You don't need to convince anyone to respect you when your work speaks for itself. You don't need to demand recognition when you show up every day and give everything you got. The grind will make people respect you. The discipline will force them to pay attention. The results will silence the doubt. You don't have to explain greatness when you live it. Just be so consistent, so locked in, so dedicated to your purpose that people have no choice but to respect the way you move. Respect comes when people see that your work ethic is non-negotiable, that your standards are high whether you're in front of a crowd or by yourself, that you're not driven by trends or applause. You're driven by purpose, and purpose-driven people are rare. They're the ones who walk with quiet confidence because they know they've earned everything they've got. They don't fake the grind. They don't skip the process. They don't cut corners. And because of that, they command respect without ever asking for it. Greatness and comfort do not coexist. You can't live in comfort and expect transformation. You can't keep holding on to what's easy and expect to rise above average. The two don't walk hand in hand. One has to go. If you're serious about growth, if you're really chasing the next level, then comfort has to be sacrificed. That's the trade. You can't become your best self while still clinging to habits that make you feel good but keep you stuck. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it steals from your future. It tricks you into thinking you have time, that there's no urgency, that you can coast your way to greatness. But you can't. You won't. The people who build something meaningful in this world are the ones who choose purpose over pleasure, discipline over distraction, sacrifice over satisfaction. You have to be willing to do what most won't. You have to be willing to wake up earlier, train longer, study harder, stay focused while everyone else is out chasing ease. That's what separates the great from the average. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's discipline and discomfort. The ability to keep going is hard when it's boring, when it doesn't feel good. Success demands that you become comfortable being uncomfortable. It demands that you stretch yourself, that you leave behind on the warm bed, the soft excuses, and the mindset that says good enough. Because good enough is the enemy of greatness. If you're always choosing what's convenient, you're choosing to stay the same. The grind doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're tired, if you're uninspired, if you don't feel like it. It only respects work. It only responds to effort. It only rewards those who are consistent in discomfort. You think champions are born in easy season? They're born in adversity. They're born in hard decisions. They're built in silence, in sweat, in sacrifice. The gym when you're sore, the books when your mind is tired. The hustle when no one's clapping. That's the truth. Nobody wants to hear. Everyone wants the trophy, but nobody's the training. Everyone wants the spotlight, but not the struggle. But if you want the result, you've got to embrace the process. All of it. When you chase comfort, you avoid growth. You avoid risk. You avoid failure. But you also avoid your potential. You avoid discovering what you're really capable of. You avoid becoming the person you were born to be. There's a reason comfort zones are small. They're cages dressed up as freedom. They keep you safe, but they also keep you stuck. And if you stay in the same place long enough, you'll convince yourself that it's where you belong. But deep down, you know it isn't. Deep down, there's a version of you that's stronger, faster, sharper, more resilient. But that version only shows up when you stop choosing comfort and start choosing challenge. That means you have to be willing to lose sleep. You have to be willing to be misunderstood. You have to be willing to sacrifice popularity for purpose. You have to say no to what's easy so you can say yes to what's necessary. That's the price of leveling up. That's the cost of doing something extraordinary with your life. You don't get to have the dream without the discipline. You don't get to be elite without embracing the extreme. That's what sets winners apart. They don't do what feels good. They do what's required. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you build strength. Every time you show up when it's hard, you build resilience. Every time you delay gratification, you build character. And that character is what carries you when motivation fades. Because motivation will fade, passion will waver. But discipline, structure, and consistency, those are what last. Those are what build legacies. The comfort zone gives you temporary relief, but it never gives you transformation. And if you want to change your life, if you want to step into your full power, then you have to be willing to let go of comfort and step into the fire. Not because it's fun, but because it's necessary. Because every step into discomfort is a step into growth. Every moment you resist the urge to take the easy way out, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more. The mirror doesn't lie. It doesn't sugarcoat. It doesn't flatter. It shows you the raw, unfiltered truth about who you are in this moment. And that's exactly where the power is. Because if you're waiting for someone else to motivate you, if you're looking for a savior to come push you forward, you've already given away your control. You've handed the keys of your life to someone else. But the moment you stand in front of the mirror and decide that you will be the one who drives, the one who leads, the one who pushes yourself forward, that's the moment you begin to own your life. Most people don't want to face the mirror because it reflects the reality they're trying to avoid. It shows the gap between who they are and who they say they want to be. It reveals the truth they've been burying under excuses, distraction, and blame. But if you really want to grow, you've got to start there. You've got to stop hiding from yourself and face what's real. Not what looks good on social media. Not what sounds nice when you say it out loud. But what actually exists behind closed doors when no one is watching. You say you want to be great? Then be honest about where you're falling short. Be honest about the effort you're putting in, the habits you've been tolerating, the time you've been wasting. The mirror doesn't accept lip service. It reflects only effort. And if the person staring back at you isn't the one you want to become, you have to change. Not wait, not hope, peace change. Nobody's going to do it for you. The motivation you're looking for is already inside of you. It's buried under fear, under laziness, under insecurity. And the only way to bring it out is to face yourself and make a decision. When you start treating the mirror as your accountability partner, everything shifts. You stop pointing fingers. You stop making excuses. You stop waiting for someone else to inspire you. You realize that you are the source. You are the fire. You are the one responsible for your grind, your discipline, your progress. And that kind of ownership is rare, but it's also powerful. Because once you start depending on yourself for fuel, no one can shut you down. Once you realize you don't need outside applause to validate your purpose, you become unstoppable. The problem is too many people have made the mirror their enemy. They avoid it. They lie to it. They use it to judge instead of to grow. But the mirror isn't the enemy. The enemy is the refusal to change. The mirror is simply a tool. It's a reflection of your choices. And the good news is every single day you wake up, you get to make new ones. You get to create new habits, build new routines, and write a different story. You get to show up in front of that mirror stronger than you were yesterday, more disciplined, more focused, more committed. And the truth is, the version of you that you dream about, the one who's confident, driven, successful, respected, that version isn't found out there. It's built in here, inside the daily decisions you make. Inside the moments you choose growth over comfort, focus over distraction, discipline over emotion. That version is already inside you, waiting for you to show up consistently and do the work, waiting for you to stop pretending and start performing. Waiting for you to stop talking and start executing. When you start using the mirror to hold yourself accountable instead of to criticize, everything changes. You stop saying I copes and start saying I'll call and start saying I will. You stop needing validation from others because you're giving it to yourself. You look yourself in the eye and say, I've got this. Not because it's easy, but because you've earned the right to believe it. You've shown up. You sacrificed. You put in the reps. And now the person you see isn't a stranger, it's a warrior. Someone who didn't fold, who didn't run, who didn't quit. Someone who chose to rise, even when no one else was watching. Every single day, you are making a decision. Whether you're aware of it or not, you're choosing to either rise or rock. There's no neutral ground. There's no standing still. If you're not climbing, you're sliding. If you're not pushing forward, you're falling backward. Life is motion. Life is momentum. And when you choose to do nothing, when you choose to settle, when you choose to sit in your excuses, you're not staying the same, you're decaying. Dreams don't die because of failure. They die because of inaction, because of hesitation, because of delay disguised as patience. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year. And before you know it, you're looking back at a trail of could have beens and missed moments. It's not the big decisions that break people. It's the small daily ones. The decision to hit snooze instead of getting up and grinding. The decision to scroll instead of study. The decision to comfort yourself instead of challenge yourself. These moments seem insignificant in the moment, but they stack. They compound. And one day, you wake up in a life you didn't build with intention, but one that was built by default. A life shaped by comfort and compromise instead of courage and commitment. That's how rot happens. Not in a sudden crash, but in a slow fade. In the daily decision to settle for less than you're capable of. Rising, on the other hand, is hard. It takes everything. It requires grit, sacrifice, and an unwillingness to stay average. Demands that you confront your fears, your habits, your laziness. Rising isn't just about achievement. It's about mindset. It's about deciding every morning that you will be better than you were yesterday. That no matter how many times life knocks you down, you're going to get back up with more fire, more hunger, more focus. Rising means you don't let your emotions dictate your effort. You show up even when it's inconvenient. You do the work even when it hurts. You move forward even when doubt creeps in and tries to convince you to stay where it's safe. The truth is, most people rot because they choose the path of least resistance. Choose what's familiar over what's fulfilling. They choose comfort over conviction. They choose distraction over discipline. They convince themselves that a good enough is good enough. And that's where dreams go to die. Rot doesn't come with alarm. It creeps in quietly. It looks like procrastination. It sounds like excuses. It feels like mediocrity. And by the time you realize what's happened, your potential has been buried under layers of fear and indecision. But you don't have to live like that. You don't have to follow the crowd. You can choose to rise. You can choose to get up even when the world expects you to stay down. You can choose to fight for your future even when the odds are stacked against you. Rising doesn't mean you never fail. It means you refuse to stay down. It means you choose action over apathy. Go. It means you refuse to let your past define your future. Every time you rise, you reclaim a piece of your power. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you take back control of your destiny. Every time you silence the voice that says, stay comfortable, you strengthen the voice that says, keep going. There's no magic formula, no secret code, just a decision. Rise or ride, grind or quit, evolve or decay. Every day you're faced with that choice, and the answer is written in your habits, in your discipline, in your ability to show up when it's hard, when it's lonely, when it's inconvenient. That's where greatness is forged. Not in grand moments, but in small, consistent decisions. The ones no one sees, the ones no one praises, but the ones that shape everything. When you understand that you are in control, that your destiny is determined not by luck, but by your ability to choose progress over passivity, something shifts. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting for motivation. You stop living on autopilot, and you start fighting for your life like it actually matters, because it does. Your time is now, your opportunity is now, and the choice is always yours. Rise or ride, grow or stay stuck, move or be moved. So now the question is not whether you have what it takes. The question is, are you willing to give what it takes? Are you willing to stop waiting, stop wishing, and start wishing, and start working? Are you ready to stop surviving and start living like everything you want is on the line? Because it is. The fight isn't out there, it's in here. It's in your choices, your habits, your hunger. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your time. You don't need permission. You don't need applause. You just need to decide right here, right now, to be your own hero.